From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
It's spring break for many college students, and that means wild parties and loud music. But the citizens in one Arizona city don't mind the temporary takeover.
Living with diabetes is already difficult enough, but the struggles grow when your wallet shrinks. How high expenses threaten those living with diabetes.
Shutting out those who need help. The consequences of one Phoenix homeless shelter shutting its doors for good.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Angie Schuster.
And I'm Lauren Hanley. Thanks for joining us.
A wild end of the 2015 legislative session and the shortest one in nearly 50 years.
But not everything was politics as usual, as senators left before the House finished voting on bills because they were tired of waiting. The Senate finished around 1 a.m. this morning, while the House stuck around until almost 4, trying to tie up some loose ends. Lawmakers worked all day yesterday, but the House didn't move any bills, killing the ballot harvesting elections bill even though it had enough votes to pass the House. The Republicans dominated the legislative session, passing more bills in both the House and the Senate, many of which landed on Governor Ducey's desk in the last couple of weeks.
If you are a far-right Republican conservative who believes in limited and even very limited government and very limited taxes and very limited looking at the vision when it comes to investing in Arizona, then I would say that it was a success.
On the other hand, analysts say that key bills supported by Democrats never survived on the floor because they were assigned to multiple committees.
If you were perhaps a left-leaning or progressive Democrat who believes government has a role to invest in a state, especially when it comes to education and programs and social programs to help those who need the help the most, and believe that government can work, then it probably was a very negative session.
Lawmakers did send a final round of bills to Governor Ducey. They included a measure allowing state officials to issue driver's licenses that comply with federal Real ID standards. But Ducey's Inspector General proposal and a second election bill Republicans wanted died.
Arizona lawmakers are providing mixed reactions toward the Iran nuclear agreement. Representative Grijalva says lawmakers from every political persuasion should applaud to support the president's ongoing efforts, while Representative Matt Salmon says that when belligerent nation demands a nuclear weapon, the United States shouldn't cave to those demands. A research fellow in defense and homeland security from the Cato Institute says it's unclear if a harder or stricter deal was even possible.
If you look at what's happening in the debate in Iran right now, it seems a lot of hardliners are complaining that they gave too many concessions to the U.S., and I think they actually have a more valid complaint than our hardliners or the Israelis saying we gave away the store. I think it actually is a pretty good deal for the United States. So in diplomacy, there's always two sides. So just to say you should have got a harsher, or you should have negotiated harder, well, you got to have the other person agree. So.
This is a tentative deal. The final text of the nuclear agreement is expected to be delivered by June 30th.
Senator John McCain is in Bullhead City celebrating an area hatchery reopening. You'll remember it was back in September Cronkite News first took you to the fish hatchery that was threatened. A pipeline burst last fall, making it so that less fish were able to survive in the area. Efforts by Senator McCain and other supporters helped to reach an agreement that would fix the broken pipeline, bring water from the Colorado River into stock ponds, and restock the Willow Beach Fish Hatchery. We have a crew covering the full ceremony at the hatchery, and we'll bring you the full story on Monday.
Spring breakers have notoriously bad reputation, but one popular party destination in Arizona finds these college students actually do good. Cronkite News reporter Lauren Klenda is in Mojave County, and she found out the economy is booming as much as the music.
I'm here in Lake Havasu City, and it is a gorgeous day. The sun is shining, the sand is warm, and as you can see around me, people are enjoying themselves. And last month, nearly 50,000 visitors were here doing the same thing.
I think the kids get a bad rap. It's a positive experience for 99% of the people that live here year-round.
For residents and the economy alike, Michael Bonney with the Lake Havasu City Hospitality Association says spring break actually gives the city positive exposure.
And the better experience that we can show the spring breakers, the more opportunity that we have to expand on that.
Bonney says the ultimate goal is that people who visit will eventually want to come back permanently. According to the U.S. Census, Lake Havasu's population has increased by 26% since 2000. Companies like Summer Winter Action Tours, also known as SWAT, say their vacation packages bring thousands of college students from across the nation to Lake Havasu.
Our intent is not to come in to Havasu and disrupt normal lifestyles. It's to try to figure out how to coexist.
Over the years, the city says it's worked with spring breakers and the companies that help bring them.
If they need something done or if we're not doing it right, we make that change right away.
The city says one of the biggest issues is the noise that carries through the residential areas, coming from the large-scale events and concerts.
We're in a desert, you shout too loudly. At nighttime, it'll carry clear across the lake.
Although SWAT says it's never received a formal citation for being outside the decibel level, this year they worked with the Sheriff's Department to cut the amount of complaints, investing nearly $250,000 in stage renovations to stifle the noise.
Because I believe this is the perfect place for spring break and been able to nurture that relationship.
We would be hard-pressed to replace that revenue in the city without this, if we didn't have the spring breakers, quite frankly.
This resort alone had around 2,500 visitors over the spring break weeks, and people are still here soaking up the sun. Live in Lake Havasu City, Lauren Klenda, Cronkite News.
Beyond Repair and closing its doors forever. This is the reality for one homeless shelter and the 80 men carrying everything they own on their backs. They now join more than 2,500 other homeless Phoenicians on the streets. Cronkite News reporter Ryan Hale gave us a look at the partnership that's trying to find these new people a home.
It's a place of despair.
The Men's Overflow Shelter in Phoenix closed Wednesday due to building issues that were too costly to repair.
There are no statutes in the state of Arizona that actually are in place to provide funding for homeless populations.
With this lack of funding, the homeless population is forced to rely on the communities here in Arizona for help.
The only funding that comes to help people in homeless situations is through the largesse of the county or the city or somewhat from the state as well.
The East lot connected to the Men's Overflow Shelter is staying open for now, but many say the parking lot filled with cots isn't a good solution.
The Men's Overflow Shelter and the East parking lot is not what we want for individuals experiencing homelessness.
When one door closes, another one opens. The city of Phoenix and Maricopa County are trying to make that old adage become a reality for the homeless population here in the valley.
City and the county are very interested in contributing $1 million each, and Valley of the Sun United Way raise $500,000 from the philanthropic community to tie $2.5 million to move 270 folks through rapid rehousing.
With this plan just getting underway, many believe that coming together like this is key to reducing homelessness in Arizona.
It's very personal to me that each one of us can make a difference. We can end homelessness.
Though the homeless population in the state grew in 2014, many people are working hard to make sure that that number sees a definite decrease throughout the rest of this year. In Phoenix, Ryan Hale, Cronkite News.
If you want to help this partnership reach their $2.5 million goal, go to donate.vsuw.org.
The struggle to stay healthy with type 2 diabetes. How the hidden costs have patients checking their wallets as much as their insulin levels.
And the app One Scottsdale Company is using to change the way we think about healthcare.
This winter, we'll take you to the heart of Downton.
You have to take control of your feelings before they take control of you.
Thomas. We'll place you at the scene of the crime.
Trouble seeks you out, doesn't it? Yes.
And we'll fly you to the ends of the earth.
Are you seeing this?
Support the one place that can take you any place.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Beth McDonald, host of 8's brand new show, Arizona Collectibles. Filming for season 2 is right around the corner. For your chance to be a guest on the show, visit us online at azpbs.org/collectibles.
That's wonderful.
Okay. Make sure to sign up early because spots fill up fast. I look forward to meeting you and seeing your treasures. Until then, thanks for watching. Thursday nights at 7:30 on 8 HD.
News doesn't stop on Friday at 7:30 at night. PBS NewsHour Weekend is kind of a natural next step. The NewsHour's been committed to being available on air or online, and now weekdays or weekends. There's no shortage of news that's out there, but why do people come to us? To give them some context and analysis that they can't find somewhere else.
PBS NewsHour Weekend, only on PBS. Check local listings.
Access Across Arizona allows us to travel to the 15 different counties in Arizona and find new, fresh voices and underreported stories.
It's been a great opportunity to travel to places we haven't been to before and talk to people we haven't heard from until now.
With our new technology, we're now able to deliver stories directly to you from across Arizona.
Live in Mojave County, reporting live from Prescott,
live in Parker, Arizona.
Cronkite News brings you Access Across Arizona.
Having type 2 diabetes in the U.S. puts a bigger dent in your wallet than anywhere else in the world. But where does Arizona fall on the national scale? I looked into how costs here compare to those around the country. A study conducted by researchers at the University of East Anglia concluded that the economic impact and costs of treating type 2 diabetes is highest in the United States compared to other countries with similar income levels.
It's the most expensive place because we often don't address these patients early enough. We don't have a unified national health system. We don't have insurance for everyone. We don't have access to care for everyone.
Linda Jimenez was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes as a freshman in college, but she was no stranger to the costs and upkeep of the disease. Her father, uncle, and grandfather were all previously diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
You have to consider all the tools that go into managing your diabetes.
Worldwide, diabetes hits lower income people the hardest and has the highest costs. Linda has been lucky enough to have had her treatment covered for the most part, but there was a point when she was concerned.
I did have a period where I went without health insurance for about 2 weeks while I was transitioning jobs, and that terrified me.
But the majority of the cost issues come into play not with regular treatment, but with complications that happen as a result of having diabetes. Charges per diabetes patient seeking inpatient hospital treatment averages around $45,000.
The one way to address the cost is really to treat patients more aggressively, treat them earlier, treat them with more advanced medications that are available now, and really allow them to have that normal sense of life that they would have if they didn't have the disease.
Managing a chronic disease such as diabetes or chronic heart disease, chronic lung disease is always going to be expensive, especially when you look at, increasing healthcare costs and those costs over an entire lifetime.
The Pharmaco study also concluded that women with diabetes in the United States are half as likely to be employed.
It is illegal to discriminate against someone for a disease state that they have when considering hiring, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen, unfortunately. And I think some employers might see somebody with diabetes and be a little scared to take on those additional healthcare costs.
In the U.S., living with type 2 diabetes has a lifetime price tag of almost $300,000. And in Phoenix, you can pay up to $4,000 a year just for regular treatment.
Smartphones can do just about everything these days. People can check their bank balance, request a cab, and now you can take charge of your health care all on your phone. Julia Thatcher reports on this new app making it easier to be the healthiest you.
I think healthcare apps only help the vast majority of people out there these days.
A number of healthcare apps are available through app stores. Apps such as Healthiest You, created by a Scottsdale-based telehealth company, are reinventing the way people choose to seek healthcare.
We're bringing healthcare up to speed with other divisions, where healthcare has been a little bit behind the curve, and it's been more challenging to maybe understand your benefits and navigate healthcare, resolve your issues, and save money while doing that.
Healthiest You is one example of new technology that allows users to be more involved in the confusing process of finding healthcare where you live.
Do a quick search here of an MRI. Let's say you've got to do a brain MRI. It's going to pull up the average cost in your area, so at least you have an idea when those bills show up a month or two later.
Healthiest You, like many healthcare apps, offer a variety of tools to help understand costs, symptoms, and treatment, such as a family tree to keep track of medical records, price comparison, and physician ratings, although Healthiest You says their primary focus is on acute issues.
The colds, the flus, infections, allergies, bronchitis, things like that.
Doctors aren't shying away from patients using apps such as these, but Dr. Knight with the Maricopa Integrated Health System stresses these apps can't replace traditional work and treatment from doctors.
I think that I would consider the apps and websites informational purposes only in order to have a better, more educated discussion with your licensed provider.
There are a number of telehealth care apps and websites available. Healthiest You is available for Droid users, and the company is expecting for the app to go live for Apple products any day. In Scottsdale, Julia Thatcher, Cronkite News.
Some telehealth apps can now be purchased through health insurance companies. If your insurance doesn't qualify for this, there are still a number of cheap or free apps you can download.
An unwanted visitor is coming to the valley, but its a creeping presence comes from a pest, not from a person. We'll take you to Graham County to see how one small beetle is having an enormous impact on a sensitive environment.
I'm free. I'm free. And freedom tastes of reality.
For veterans, coming back to civilian life brings new challenges, new opportunities, and new stories of remarkable courage and accomplishment. Sharing their stories can help communities understand the veteran experience, and through Arizona Veterans Coming Home, 8 connects veterans and their families to resources and services for a successful transition to civilian life. Explore some of the best resources and opportunities for veterans at azpbs.org/veterans. Arizona Veterans Coming Home, connecting Arizona's veterans to the right resources at the right time. Watch sneak previews of what's coming soon to 8. Go to azpbs.org/previews today. Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University, delivers new ideas and new worlds to the explorer in you.
A group effort is underway in southeastern Arizona to combat the negative effects of 2 invasive species have and will cause in southeastern Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Brenda Carrasco traveled to Graham County in the town of Fort Thomas and found out what 2 organizations are doing to fix the environmental problem.
These workers aren't your typical landscapers. Armed with chainsaws and other tools, these volunteers for the Arizona Conservation Corps are on a mission to help save a threatened ecosystem in Safford.
A lot of people that get attracted to conservation work love working with their hands. They're going back into, like, let's say, just being outside, getting dirty. You're dirty every day. You camp for 9 days straight without a shower. But in the long run, like, when you're with a group of like 8 or 6, like, you all share that same passion.
Volunteers like Marcy Caballero Reynolds are working with the Gila Watershed Partnership to help prepare for the arrival of the tamarisk beetle, a species of beetle that will eventually kill off the invasive salt cedar trees found in areas all over the southwest U.S.
They come from another country, another continent, and they have no predators here. We have some salty soils here, so they pull up that salt up into their leaves, and then they weep that salt back out on the surface of the ground, which then sterilizes the ground to makes it impossible for other plants to live.
The salt cedars are so resilient and invasive that in 2001, the USDA approved the use of the tamarisk beetle as a biological control agent to help defoliate and eventually kill the trees.
They've been working their way to Arizona, and we expect them here in 3 to 4 years in this part of Arizona. And when they come here, they have a way of just devastating, eating up all of the vegetation on the salt cedars, because that's what the bugs do.
But the beetles will in turn create a new challenge. Killing the salt cedars also means killing the home of 2 endangered species.
This is critical habitat, designated critical habitat for southwest willow flycatcher and the western yellow-billed cuckoo. So those birds both live in native plants here, but since the salt cedar has come in and taken over, the birds have adapted and now live in the salt cedars.
Without the salt cedars, the birds wouldn't have anywhere to nest and grow their already threatened numbers. So volunteers are growing native plants inside this Safford greenhouse until these new homes are ready for transplant at the project site.
In the greenhouse specifically, out there we've moved out a bunch of saccatone. Giant saccatone and alkali saccatone.
Making room for the new trees means cutting down hundreds of tamarisk trees with the help of chainsaws and heavy machinery.
Areas like these are just small sections of tamarisk trees that have already been cleared. The partnership is looking to clear a total of 200 acres for the remainder of their 5-year project.
We're in a position in our lifetime where we need to protect as much as that we can, our resources and everything. And even though this site we're taking all these trees down, in the process, you know that you are doing something better for the environment.
Change that the volunteers and the partnership hope will save the birds for the next generations to come.
Clear skies and warm temperatures make it perfect weather to get out there and volunteer. But is this weather going to stay into your Easter weekend? Jason Holmes has your weekend forecast.
Well, the weather is certainly starting off great this weekend. Right now we're at 84 degrees here in Phoenix, light winds out of the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour. Plenty of sunshine out there as well. We did get up to a high of 87 degrees today, which is still a little bit warmer than the average high for this time of year, still is just 82 degrees. And we take a look at those temperatures statewide, you can still see plenty of warm air across the south. Again, 84 here in Phoenix, also 84 in Tucson. Over here in Yuma, we're at 86. We did have a bit of a weather system move through the northern part of the state yesterday. Much cooler conditions up there today with some windy conditions yesterday. 51 in Flagstaff, just 60 in Winslow. Taking a look at those current wind speeds out there right now, you can see it's still a little bit breezy over here in Bullhead City, 24 miles per hour. Most of the rest of us, though, not too bad, just 8 miles per hour in Flagstaff, 7 miles per hour in Phoenix, and also in Tucson. If we take a look at the radar picture out there right now, we have another big ridge of high pressure building in. Not a lot to look at here, just a few clouds skirting through the southeastern part of the state. Everywhere else, we're mostly dry and sunny. Tonight, we're going to expect those clear conditions to persist with 58 for the low. As we head into the 5-day forecast, again, a very nice warm weekend with temperatures near 90 and plenty of sunshine. As we head into next week, though, a little bit cooler with those temperatures dropping into the 80s and even by Wednesday down to about 76 for the high. For your Cronkite weather, I'm Jason Holmes.
Showing off your acts of kindness. One app encourages you to post your Good Friday good deeds just in time for Easter.
At ASU, we believe the most important semester is the one that starts after you get your diploma, the one called life. So we work hard to help our alumni thrive, teaching them the importance of not only achieving their goals, but exceeding them. With innovative programs that embrace hands-on learning that encourages real-world growth. Our alumni know it can be the education of a lifetime, for a lifetime. For more information, thrive.asu.edu. At ASU, we believe the most important semester is the one that starts after you get your diploma, the one called life. So we work hard to help our alumni thrive, teaching them the importance of not only achieving their goals, but exceeding them. With innovative programs that embrace hands-on learning that encourages real-world growth. Our alumni know it can be the education of a lifetime, for a lifetime. For more information, thrive.asu.edu.
Should I believe in the world, Mama?
I think so.
Should I give up and hide, or should I stay and fight? Should I believe in the rules, Mama?
What are the consequences?
Can I speak out my mind in these changing times? I don't know what to believe, Mama.
Will you march with us?
There's a fire There's a storm on the rise. Give me a reason to be mama.
Buonasera.
'Cause I need someone to believe.
The world is more complicated than it's ever been.
The NewsHour is always going to take you deeper and take you broader.
And that is worth fighting for.
Night after night, 7 days a week.
I'm Maria Hinojosa.
I'm Gwen Eichel. And I'm Judy Woodruff.
On behalf of all of us here, thanks for watching.
Cronkite News is proud to join the Arizona PBS News blog here on 8HD.
Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
Coming up after Cronkite News, it's Arizona Horizon's Journalists Roundtable. We will have the latest on the waning days of the legislative session, including a look at bills signed by the governor and those that failed to survive the veto pen.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour. Ahead of opening day, how America's pastime is becoming more diverse. That's Friday on the PBS NewsHour.
There's a new way to share acts of Christian kindness this Good Friday. A new app is encouraging people to post and geotag their good deeds. Today, hundreds of people use their cell phones to share photos and videos to show their acts of kindness through a website and app called All In. It also encourages people to use the hashtag DoGoodFriday to document their deeds. The app is sponsored by a range of Christian activists from Mike Huckabee to the Tim Tebow Foundation as a way to reinvigorate people of faith this holiday season.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.